Hey everyone, welcome to part 65, and we're about to begin the digital dimension. I actually debated leaving this out because it's so fucking tedious. But I figured, well, it wouldn't be quite complete if I didn't include it, so I decided to include it. You're about to see what I mean in this part about why this section is so friggin' boring. For one thing, there's no voice acting in this section. That's not a reason why it's boring, but I just figured I'd say there's no voice acting in this section. I thought there was, which is why it takes a while to get things going. But Taichi and Agumon have landed in this, like, mysterious dimension. Despite the fact that, you know, I believe there was a point very early on in the playthrough of the main story where they actually appeared in a place like this. The digital dimension normally is a place where you can grind throughout the story in order to build your levels up and stuff. And as you proceed through the story, you unlock multiple digital dimensions with stronger Digimon in them to grind with, and that's how I was able to grind up to level 40 without too much problem. But here, this is more story based. It is optional, I think. Well, I say it's optional, but once you've completed the main story and the movie sections, this is the next sort of area you can beat. If you choose not to bother and you choose just to stop there, you won't be getting New Game Plus, I will say that. And New Game Plus, you know, does unlock quite a few nifty little things. So that's why I'm going to show this off, boring as it is. This Digimon here that we're chatting to is Hackmon. I believe he's trying to challenge Agumon to a fight or something, but Taichi and Hackmon don't want to fight him, they just want to find their way out of this mysterious dungeon. I do apologise, I had to stop talking then. But nonetheless, Hackmon agrees to help you find your way out of the dungeon. He's not going to fight us after all. It's just as well, really, because I don't really want to fight. The lack of voice acting really isn't too much of a problem, but at this point my sound had kind of faded, so no, it was still recorded, but it wasn't coming out of the speakers, so I didn't know that there was actually no voice acting, it was just text. Right, the digital dungeon. The whole point of this is you've got to go up through the floors. There are 3 areas in total. To go up a floor, you go to the golden thing that looks like a save point, but it actually isn't. And that's all you really have to do. And I think you have to do is like 13-14 times, which is insanely boring. Now, there are Digimon you can choose to fight if you want, but I just want to get through this, so yeah. I'm going to quickly sort out the Digichips on him because, well, it's pretty obvious. At this point, you no longer have to worry about any other Digimon. Any of the other Digimon, you know, there's no Gabumon, there's no Patamon. The only Digimon you have to work with is Agumon. So I'm going to clear you off completely. Right, I'm going to give you that because this is a very handy item. It means that you don't use any SP in battle at all. And it's the item we got when we beat Diaboromon. such a handy little item. And with that, I don't need to worry about putting SP onto War Greymon. I'm gonna give you the full HP restore. After all, it don't matter because I'm not using any SP at all for it, so it's not like the fact that it normally costs a hefty amount of points to use. And yeah, I'm sorry about that. I had to do a little jump cut there, but basically the long and the short of it is, you know, I fiddled around with the Digivice a bit. So now that, you know, just so that Agumon doesn't use any SP whatsoever. So let's keep going. There really is nothing to say. All these areas look exactly the same. There is absolutely no difference whatsoever. All you have to do is find the golden... see, that's not what I'm looking for. That's where I came in. I've just gone round in a whopping great big circle. So I want to look for the golden one, which takes me up to the next floor. There are 3 areas in total. When you get to the second area, eventually, you'll get a save point, and then you can trigger a conversation with whoever you're with. And in the third area, you normally get to experience a battle. So, well, yeah, the fact that I'm saying it like that, yes, there are multiple times you have to do this. I am only showcasing it the first time, just to give you an idea of just how boring this is. I mean, seriously. I'm sorry, I really have nothing to say. This is just tedious. And we're finally at the second area. You have to climb like 5-6 floors just to get to the next area. In each area there's a save point, thankfully, so you don't have to go through the tedium of climbing this damn dungeon again. I'm sorry, I just find this so tedious and repetitive. You don't only do it this time, but you do it... Let's see. You do it a further 6 times. It's tedious as fuck. And I'm sorry, I'm having to do like a few jump cuts here because I stopped recording and I had to start recording again, and you know, yeah. And because I edited all this shit together before I decided to do commentary on it, some of it wasn't edited perfectly, so you know. And you gotta do this shit again. Find the golden warp point to take you up to the next floor. Keep doing that and eventually you'll reach the next area where something happens. After area 3 though, thankfully you can exit. But then you gotta go in there again if you want to continue on and get the New Game Plus and completely 100% beat the game. And I, you know, I can say it as many times as I like, and I probably will. This is so tedious. I will be cutting it out for all the other times I revisit these dungeons though, and just record the conversations I have at the second area and the battle I have at the third area. I'm going to come clean and say that this is the only time where you won't have a battle at the third area. So really all you're doing here is just trudging through the fucking dungeon. Conversing occasionally. And that's about it. Out and avoiding the Digimon that are in these dungeons. Unless you want to grind. It's probably the only good thing about this. It's the grinding you can do. If there's one problem I have with the Digital Dimensions segments, the actual proper ones meant for grinding, it's just... there's no save point, there's no recovery point. You have to use your own recovery items or quit and go back in, and that's bullshit, I'm sorry. Floor free. Right. Save the game. I don't want to go through all that again, and move forward. And we're at the exit. Hallelujah. So Hackmon's not going to fight us after all, though he does seem to think that Agumon might be a worthy opponent or something. Oh, I don't care. I don't even know who Hackmon is. He's just like some Digimon that roams around this area. Anyway, we have 6 more chapters to go in this fucking boring area. But there is one good thing that comes out of these Digital Dimension segments, and we start at the first fucking floor again. First fucking area. Like I say, I'm going to be cutting out the moving around the dungeons and shit. I'm just going to be like flipping ahead to the conversations and to the battles that you can have, just to get things done much quicker. You've seen me wandering around, it's boring. This here is Daisuke. If you're a Digimon fan, you'll know that he is a Season 2 character. The leader of the Season 2 team. So Daisuke is explaining how he knows Taichi and the fact that he's from 3 years in Taichi's future. And why the fuck did you hit him, Vmon? And, but yeah, Daisuke is from Digimon Adventure 02. He's from 3 years in Taichi's future. And he will be leading the 02 team. You can even see he's got Taichi's goggles. I like Daisuke. He's awesome. I don't know why people could possibly hate him. Right, cutting ahead to the second area where you can have another conversation with Daisuke, and I don't know what the fuck it's about. I know that the walkthrough I used actually offers a translation for this area. But I wasn't reading through it when I recorded it, and nor am I reading through it now that I'm doing commentary. I've got a rough idea of what's being said. Not here though, just here and there. So skipping ahead to area 3. At the end of, you know, every Digital Dimension segment, there's the exit. We have to fight an evil clone of the support character who is on our team. Yes, of course, you do get a support character when you're teaming up with one of the many other leaders. Because these Digital Dimension segments are purely for crossover purposes, to you know, so you can team up with all the other leaders from all the other seasons. In this case, our support character would be Magnamon. Yeah, and we have to fight a clone of Magnamon. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest and say that this fight is probably going to take up the rest of the part, and I do apologise for that. I was not well prepared going into this fight. There is an item, a Digichip, that I wish I had put on Agumon just to make him a bit more involved in the fight. And that is the double action Digichip, the one that I used on a Farnimon in the Apocalypse fight. I didn't think to use it, because it didn't occur to me that both your support character and your opponent have double action, and Wargreymon does not. So Wargreymon does not get a lot of attacking time. So that, I don't know if that helps the fight, you know, be dragged out longer, but it's irritating as sin. Magnamon, I think, is a pretty handy Digimon. I believe he just boosted attack and defense. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but if that's the case, then that is awesome. I've put attack down on Wargreymon. Perhaps defense down would have worked out better. But obviously I need that 19, you know, that full heal. It's not like it's going to matter because it doesn't use any SP at all. I love the 0 SP item. It's so handy. And just got to keep hoping that attack raises. Magnamon does not have the greatest attack power in the world, but I would say that he does really help in terms of your statistics, so I would say that he's a really good support character for that reason, like boosting attack and defense. At least I think that's what he's doing. And he can also heal by 2,000 points. Mind you, I think all the leaders Digimon can do that. It's like, I believe that's a Digichip ability that's been plastered onto them. But like every other support character bar from Omegamon, which for some reason was classed as a support character, despite it being a fusion of two of your own, Magnamon you can't control, the computer controls what he does. So don't rely on his 2,000 hit point heal or on him boosting stats. You'll be lucky if he boosts like your stats once in a while, once in a blue moon. And I say that as he boosts stats now. The only thing with like these fights, like I said, is they can drag out for a while. I do think it's awesome that they managed to incorporate all the leaders. I just wish they'd done it in a better way, because I did not like the Digital Dimension segments. I just thought they were boring, purely because of the sheer amount of wandering you have to do to get through them. Well, that helped. But 2,000 hit points I don't really want to rely on. It's not a lot. I suppose the good thing about support characters as well is that you don't need to worry about healing, you know, healing their SP. They don't seem to have any SP count either. So if you don't have any SP count on you by using the SP Digichip, then you're fine. Oh, and I believe each and every one of the I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that each and every one of the clones has counter as an ability. And I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think maybe the support characters also have counter as an ability. But it doesn't always work. Oh, that's great. Boost stats, please. Okay, fine, don't boost stats. But I do appreciate the heal. Like I say, this is probably going to be the most drawn out fight. With Digimon probably also being a slight bit drawn out, but to be fair, I did kind of buck my ideas up and use better Digichips for the rest of the leaders after that. I hope anyway. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. Like I say, the only problem with these fights is that they're a tad drawn out. I think a defense down would have worked better than an attack down here. Considering that Magnamon doesn't have the most impressive attack stats anyway. He's all about, like I say, just... I'd say he's better off for, like, boosting stats and stuff rather than attacking power. So I would recommend bringing a defense down into this fight and not an attack down like I did. And I would also recommend bringing double action. Because honestly, otherwise you're just going to be sitting and watching most of the fight, and occasionally attacking. And of course, use the 0 SP item, because that is awesome, and it's an incredible item, and you need to use it. Right, we need to heal. Oh, and obviously bring a healing Digichip as well. Don't worry so much about boosting attack, defense, with the orange Digichips. Just focus on, like I say, double action, and all of them. Because it's going to make the fight a lot more bearable. And not so drawn out, like this one is. I literally only managed to get one of these guys in here. And admittedly, that could be because I really wanted to show off just how tedious wandering through the digital dimension is. But you've got to bear in mind, you've got to do that 6 times following on from the Hackmon episode. So that's 7 times in total. That is tedious, I'm sorry, but it really fucking is. It's the only part of this game I don't like. And to be fair, I didn't have to do it, but I felt like I really wanted to show off everything the game had to offer. And, well, considering I had completed them and recorded them, I thought, what the fuck not. May as well see what you've got, you know, what you've got to endure here. Right, like I say, this is just like, I'm sorry if this is a tad tedious to watch. Like I say, I could have put better Digichips on Wargreymon for this fight. I did not expect Magnamon to be this defensive. But yeah, like I say, Magnamon is incredibly defensive, I think. But like I say, the only problem is it hasn't got the greatest attack power in the world. So really, you know, just work with what what you know. Don't just assume, like I did, that Omegas are going to be as crappy and as easy as a Proclamon and Diaboromon. My god, those two were piss takes. You know what, I would have loved it, bringing Omegamon into this section, but at the same time, I can kind of understand why that wasn't the case. Because we really wanted to focus on the leaders, and only the leaders. With Omegamon, you'd need Yamato along as well for the ride, because half of Omegamon is, Yamato's Digimon. So, And not only that, but it'd probably be unfair, because if Taichi would be able to bring Yamato along for the ride, then Daisuke would have to bring Ken along for the ride, because he's also capable of DNA digivolving or fusing or whatever with Ken's Digimon, and that would have been a very unfair thing. So I'm kind of glad at the same time that they stuck with Wargreymon and just Wargreymon alone. But it does mean that Wargreymon is going to be much, much more leveled up than any of the others by the time you get to New Game Plus. Not that it matters, because it's New Game Plus. Who the fuck cares? Okay. I would have appreciated a boost in stats. But okay, whatever. Don't boost stats at all. Sometimes I admittedly get confused between the clone and the real one, even though the clone is quite blatantly obvious. He's the one opposite us, and the colouring is different. There's still occasions where I just kind of get a bit confused. Normally when it comes to watching them attack, and because the attacks go quite quickly and it isn't always very clear. I am going to risk an attack and pray that Magnadramon clone doesn't kill me. It shouldn't do. But, oh crap. Stat boosting, you cheating bastard. Like I say, if I'm wrong about that being an attack and defense boost, then please do feel free to correct me on that, because, you know, I'd hate to be giving out the wrong information, but it's just, I can't think of what else he could be boosting. Unless he's boosting speed. But then again, I've never really understood what use speed is. Thank God for that. We survived, bitches. Alright, we're nearly there. It's like I say, this fight is just like kind of tedious and stuff, but... Also, is it me or is the clone hitting harder now? I mean, that could be due to the stat boost that he, you know, put on himself, but... it's still a royal pain in the rear end. I'm gonna try for an attack down. And it doesn't fucking work. It's not fair. You know, you're supposed to work. And boost his stats again. That's not fair. Oh man, oh man. It's just a case of surviving now. Come on. Magnadramon, you've got to survive. I will heal you with my godly powers. Wow. You know, with my super healing powers. Whoa. An attack up actually occurred. That must be a friggin' miracle. Okay. Hopefully that should protect us from damage a little bit better. Obviously, I don't want to lose more Wargreymon in this fight, so my main task is to try and keep him as healed, you know, healed up as possible. And you know, Magnadramon can do most of the work. It'll take a long time. It'll be tedious, but you know, at least we're staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive. Okay. There's one thing that's kind of... I mean, it's cool when it works out in your favour. You know, when you miss and your opponent misses and then you get to counter even... Or have an attack boost even when they miss. It's irritating when it happens when it's the boots on the other foot and your opponent can counter you even when you miss them. I'm gonna need to heal. Right. Heal up. It's funny when Wargreymon's pose when he's nearly out of health. I don't know. I've always thought it looked kind of strange. Let's finish this guy off. Come on, we're nearly there. We've nearly finished Magnadramon. Well, the clone anyway. That attack boost could not have come at a better time. Well, that's good. And that was well needed. It saves me having a heal. Okay, hang in there. Oh, goody! An attack boost at that point would have also been wonderful, but okay, I can accept that. And I'm using the tornado because I like it. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I like my tornado. Oh, stat boost. Excellent. I don't think we've got necessarily the same boosts, but feel free, you know, like I say, feel free to correct me on what exactly It's being boosted on both team members here. God damn it. Crikey! Come on! Stop fucking attacking. Excellent, I needed that. Right now, die! Please kill it. Oh, for goodness sake! You're supposed to kill it! Okay. Well, who cares who got the kill? I believe the support characters in this case, you know, Magnadramon and the other leaders, Digimon, I don't think they have a victory pose, so who the hell cares? We get to finish this boring ass episode in this digital dimension off. Well, at least we got to see Daisuke in the game. I hope they make a 0-2 version. Why can't they get out? Like I said, I hope they make a 0-2 version, you know, a 0-2 game. It'd be awesome to see more Daisuke. And Ken! Oh yes, big Ken fan here. Used to have a major crush on him when I was like 9 years old. I don't anymore, but you know when you're a kid. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next part.